PaperX have kind of fallen out of the discussion. Now, don't get me wrong, they're still one of the most popular teams in VCT, but I think after they got their trophy, a lot of people kind of disregarded them a little bit. Some of the more casual fans maybe decided, they've done their storyline, they've done their bit, and that's great, but now let's move on to more exciting things, like NRG's come up, Fnatic's quest to regain the dynasty and prove that they're still dominant, G2's first trophy, and with all of those storylines, I think PaperX has been forgotten about a bit in terms of their actual potential. Again, they haven't been forgotten as a team, but as a championship contender, I think they have not been talked about as much as they should have. This is a team that just did one of the best games of the year, possibly of all time, against G2. I don't normally say this in my videos. This series was a true banger. Go watch it if you have the time. If you have like 3 hours to kill or whatever, obviously watch my stuff first, but then go check them out. It was a wonderful series, but I think PaperX had the real chance to win champions here. They just destroyed all of the allegations about them being, undisciplined. And I get that they did kind of destroy that in Toronto, but there were some people that I saw that doubted if they could hold the true champions form, right? And they destroyed that. They had a super close game against G2 where their poise, they were able to play correctly and they were able to win because of it. We're going to break that down here today, see what they did to beat G2 and if they can really win champions. I'm Lionzblade. Let's hit a reverse 6-7 here. I don't know. I'm very close, I believe, to 7.6k subs. So go ahead and subscribe. My analytics, and this is not a joke, say 60 to 70% of you guys are not subscribed who watch my videos. So go ahead, give me the 6-7 and let's get right into it. Now, this is PaperX's first round win that wasn't obviously the pistol or the round after that on defense, and I want just to talk about how high IQ the entire round is. I think this is some of the best Valorant we've seen played yet at Champs, and it is truly great. So, G2 here are Yoru cloning to break a wall that doesn't exist. Not their fault, they just think that the wall might be over there, but because Forsaken's on, because something is on this advanced line over on B, he knows that it's most likely an A hit here, and he relays that information over to Forsaken, who is holding the A line. Now, I want you guys to notice something. Please try and pay attention. I don't have any fancy zooms or anything like that, but please try and pay attention to this part of your minimap, right here specifically, because Forsaken is about to make a super high IQ play that wins them the round, and I mean, this game ended 13-11. You could argue that it was a game-winning play right here. This smoke is set up like this, which means that obviously G2 fear a wine cross. They're going to clear that out. Now the casters didn't catch this, and they were actually confused at what they did for their wine clear. This arc rose is put right here, the Vice Flash, and obviously I'm sure you know if you're watching this video that the Vice Flash will say if it catches someone. It goes off and immediately Forsaken, with a high IQ play, recognizes that that was the clearance, and now he's able to cross undetected. In G2's minds, this space has been cleared. But he's able to cross undetected into it right here, get in a position to win the round. And you'll see it right here. After the Vice ult wears off, he comes up. Nobody on G2 is thinking about this spot because in their minds, again, it's already been cleared by that Vice Flash. Why would you do anything with it? But these two kills and then the rest of PaperX flood into the site. A beautiful round that's really a high IQ type of round, that every single bit of information was relayed perfectly, and I mean, they did the perfect play with that, especially Forsaken. I know I'm glazing this, maybe a little too hard, but it is genuinely a play that not many players are thinking of in the moment, and honestly, not many players have the, we'll say, stones to do, because there are a lot of factors into that. What if you get cleared again, etc., etc. Great play there by Forsaken. PaperX make it 3-4. Now, PaperX are going to win another round, although this one was probably less of a high IQ and more of a game sense / luck type of thing. Let me explain. So here for the first little bit, it mostly proceeds as normal. Leaf is trying to get posted up with an op, and with the comp for G2, a lot of it revolves around really giving Leaf an operator, giving him a chance to go ahead and win the round with that op, and putting him on good forward lines so that he actually has a chance to make an impact. This is not a comp where you're going to be hitting sites super fast either. It's one where you're going to use a lot of the time in the round. But PaperX here read the mid aggression perfectly, knowing there's nothing on B, knowing there's nothing on A. They read read the aggression very well. The Dart gets 2 scans as well, and they are ready to fight this. And Forsaken, I'm going to be honest, he gets a bit lucky there with one of the spams. Jog was kind of getting body blocked by his teammates on that ult as well. Jing, though, does instantly throw numbers back as Jonah P gets the kill. But again, Forsaken, another kind of smoke timing thing. With 40 seconds left, though, this is when it starts to get really interesting, because you have the fast flank from something, but G2 are trying to equalize numbers before that would even take effect, and there's a weird thing with Devi and Trent right there, where Devi dies, and then there's the ult, blah, 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 the trade. But I want to talk about this onto Jogamo, because he's not thinking at all about the possibility of a flank, and you'll see it right here. He's exposed to flank. Right here, he's trying to watch tree. He's exposed to the flank, so something gets the kill, and then obviously the 1v3 from Valen. But a lot of it did come down to the kind of intuition of Forsaken knowing when to spam the smokes, able to get the kill, makes it 4-7. Eventually, though, it's 4-8, and I want to talk about PaperX's comeback, because that's what they did. They really came back on the attack side of Ascent, which is very difficult to do. So let's look at that pistol round. Now, PaperX obviously need to win this round if they want any hope of coming back. Attack side Ascent is notoriously very difficult to play, especially if you're down rounds, but they do a wonderful job of navigating this and pretty much just breaking up this double Sentinel composition perfectly. They split. They have over here Devi mid. If he died right there, by the way, I believe, and I truly believe, the round is over. It would only be mid pressure. There is a chance of a flank. In fact, he does start to flank later on in the round, but Jonah ends up ducking behind the box. We'll talk about it in a second. But right there, it's very good for PaperX that Leaf missed that shot, because now you have the pressure main and you have the pressure up mid. Leaf's able to kill something, but here's the thing. It doesn't end up mattering. Right there, Forsaken instantly gets the trade. I love this idea, by the way. You saw it back when Cypher Deadlock was first getting used on Ascent, where you would throw the Deadlock wall back here in the defender spawn to stop rotates. It's the same type of idea here. Now, unfortunately, no one is trying to rotate through here, but it's a really nice idea that I think, if the round played out differently, would have had more value. But Trent sees everyone. The issue, though, is that G2 are cornered on site. You can see it here. They're all forced to play super passively on site, which then lets PaperX go and try and kill the one solo member of G2. The issue is that Jonah P is Canadian, and they don't get a chance to shoot their guns much, so whenever he does, he's going to go ahead and get those frags. But in this situation, as you can see here, it ends up still being okay for PaperX because they're able to get the kill onto Jogamo and Leaf, respectively, making it a 2v1 for a second, but then the 1v1, Trent and Patman. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't think this situation favors PaperX normally, but it does go in their favor. But the most important thing is that they had an idea of what they wanted to do, and it was awesome. They want to go ahead, exploit, really, mid, because even with Jogamo, they said, we think we can run past that. We think we can cut off rotations with the Sage Wall, and we're going to win the round that way. Great round win from them, and they're able to go ahead and win some more, obviously, so let's take a look at those. Now, Leaf has an outlaw mid here. It's 6-8 on the bonus round, and for some reason, Jing, the only person with Light Shield on PaperX, is deciding to not only peek it, but again, he's the only person with Light Shield. He's jumping around. He's having a party back there. Now, I get that he's maybe not anticipating the repeak or something, but I do think more caution probably should have been exercised. However, whatever, because something is going to go ahead and make up for Jing's mistake there and make it a 4v4, taking out the Vice, which is very, very crucial. Now, I love what Patman does here initially. The only problem is what comes after. See, Patman is trying to sell that they're actually coming A through Cat, and he does a good job at keeping these A players here. He has to. Keep in mind, the Vice was the one killed. So right now, the only person on site is Trent. He doesn't have the wall up to help him. He doesn't have the Vice utility to help him. It is just Trent on this B site. Now, Paranoia gets used. People are forced to stay here. Jog is staying here. And Valen, because of this little fake that's forced. Or, excuse me, the presence that's shown forces them to stay. However, because of the outlaw mid, there's not too much Patman can do here except aim better. He has to cross back. He has to help the team. There's nothing that he can really do. Forsaken is smoking for the actual B hit, so unfortunately he does have to cross and then gets quickly killed by Leaf. Unfortunate there from him. Trent, even just getting one here, is doing God's work on the site. Leaf, I'm not sure, to be honest. I slowed this down. He pre-aims here, And then here, I don't know why he has the outlaw out instead of his Q, but whatever. And then again, I'm just not sure why he's swinging instead of retaking with the team. Swinging out with an outlaw or even his Q of the headhunter is just going to be difficult, and I don't think it's worth doing. I think he probably should have just waited, but whatever. 2v2 situation now. And at first, it looks good for G2. Again, these players were kept over there by the little fake soul by Patman. But Jog is going to get a nice little timing right here. As you can see, Devi is just not ready. And boom, kill. 2v1 scenario, but Forsaken, he is 16-8, and he is not stopping anytime soon. He was very, very locked in on Ascent here. Did a wonderful job on this. Keep in mind, this was PaperX's bonus round. They are not supposed to win this, but he gets in a situation where time is already low because of, again, Patman. I know I keep glazing that, but it really was something that helped them win the round in the end. But Forsaken is really the person that helps win the round in the end. Clutching, beautiful job there to make it 7-8, winning the bonus round and giving PaperX a chance back into this game. Now, this round is where PaperX actually win the game, in my opinion. It's a round where they're forced to pretty much full eco here, with the exception of 2 rifles. They've got 3 sheriffs, and then obviously the 2 rifles I mentioned before, but one of them being a bulldog, lots of half shield, and lots of hope, I guess. They go ahead, try and sell a little bit of a fake over towards B. It ends up just being a wall to contain over towards there, and they end up finishing A. However, the first mistake is actually going to be made by Leaf, who's going to whiff a shot in a second here, as we'll see. But I do like that they are willing to go ahead, 4-man it, and they have these lineups up here to make it very awkward for anyone to actually be on the site. It is a complete retake almost that's forced out here. Not almost, it is. Leaf misses the shot, then he's not TPing away. I'm not sure why. He did have, I think, like 29 at this point, so he might have just been feeling himself. But once Jogamo dies, you're forced into this retake right here, and it's not a good look. However, Trent, one of the best players in the world, Teo or not, he's going to be able to have good utility and understand what he needs to do. He kills Jing, who's fighting from main with that aforementioned rifle. It was a bulldog, but still a rifle nonetheless. Trent makes it a 3v3, but then Forsaken, he was on one this game, just like Leaf, gets the kill onto Valen, drops into the smoke, and then kills the player that's actually dropping, and then just has the right-click luck that pros seem to have. It is a beautiful round, and I want you to keep in mind, they started this with 3 sheriffs. This was a round you were not supposed to win, and they go on to win the game 13-11. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe and, of course, click on the video that should be popping up right now if you like my content. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.